4.7 million years ago. The first fire that changed humanity forever the year is 4.7 million years ago. The place, an untamed jungle where danger lurks around every tree, and the law of the jungle is simple: eat or be eaten. Our story begins with a group of early humans, known as These curious creatures, part ape and part human, navigate their world on two legs, but with a brain that's only a third of the size of yours. Despite their small brains, they exhibit surprising curiosity, regularly investigating their surroundings with keen interest. But intelligence alone cannot shield them from the dangers that prowl the primeval forest. In this unforgiving world, these primitive humans are not at the top of the food chain. Instead, they find themselves sandwiched between giant predatory mammals and an array of smaller predators that see them as a meal. Among their most fearsome predators are the hyenas, sinister packs of scavengers that attack in groups, tearing apart anything that crosses their path. Also lurking in the shadows are the proto-wildebeest, massive horned creatures that charge like chariots and trample all in their way. Then there are the hyper-wildebeest, agile carnivores with horns that can pierce even the thickest hides. To add to their woes, packs of aboriginal canines prowl the night, hunting in packs and targeting the weak. In this unforgiving terrain, our Australopithecine band must constantly be on guard against attacks. The smallest misstep could mean the difference between life and death. Yet despite these constant threats, our primitive ancestors possess one crucial advantage: their opposable thumbs. This unique trait allows them to use rudimentary tools such as stones and wooden clubs, giving them a slight edge in their struggle for survival. It's a very basic advantage, but it's enough to help them survive. One evening, our band of early humans is strolling through the twilight jungle when they stumble upon a watering hole. Here, amidst the tall grasses and swaying trees, they come face to face with a pride of lions, the undisputed kings of the jungle. These magnificent predators regard our ancestors with disdain, seeing them as nothing more than prey. The humans stand frozen in fear, unsure of what to do next. Suddenly, one of the lions makes a move, launching itself towards our heroes. The humans respond instinctively, brandishing their primitive weapons and letting out ear-piercing screams. The lion, taken aback by this unexpected resistance, halts its attack and retreats to safety. The humans, shaken but unharmed, quickly flee the scene. But the lions are persistent and soon corner our ancestors by a river. With their backs against the flowing water, the humans stand defiant, ready to face their fate. Once again, the lions charge, but this time they're met with a fierce. The humans swing their weapons with all their might, connecting blow after blow. Though injured, the lions realize they're in trouble and retreat deeper into the tall grass, leaving the riverbank to the humans. For now, the humans have won a hard-fought victory, but they know that the battle for survival is far from over. As the sun sets over the jungle, they gather around a fire, seeking warmth and comfort in the flickering flames. Around the fire, they share stories and laughter, momentarily forgetting the dangers that lie in wait. It's at this moment that one of the humans notices something incredible. The fire has burned away the darkness, revealing the beauty of the night sky dotted with countless stars. For the first time, they witness the wonders of the cosmos, no longer confined by the darkness. This simple discovery fills them with awe and wonder, reminding them of the vastness of the universe and their tiny place within it. The fire also reveals another marvel: the glowing embers. Intrigued by their fiery nature, the humans pick them up and examine them closely. They notice that the embers retain heat and seem almost magical in their ability to produce light and warmth. Realizing their potential, the humans gather more embers and arrange them in patterns on the ground. They create designs that mimic the stars in the sky, adorning the night with a celestial tapestry. As the night wears on, the humans become bolder, realizing the power that fire holds. They start experimenting, throwing various objects into the flames, observing how they react to the heat. One of the humans, driven by curiosity, picks up a spear and tests its strength against the fire. To their astonishment, the spear bursts into flames, transforming into a torch that casts an eerie glow on the surrounding trees. This discovery sends a wave of excitement through the group. They understand that with this newfound knowledge, they can ward off predators and illuminate the darkness, no longer fearing the night. As dawn breaks over the jungle, our early humans wake up to a world transformed by fire. They look up at the sky and notice that the sun rises more easily, now that the tall trees are no longer shrouded in darkness. The fire has brought light to their world, dispelling the shadows that once held so much power. Realizing the profound impact of this discovery, they decide to keep the fire burning day and night, ensuring that the darkness will never consume them again. From that day forward, the relationship between humans and fire changes dramatically. No longer are they just a means of protection or illumination. Humans learn to harness the power of fire for cooking their food, making it safer and more enjoyable. They discover that cooked meat tastes better and is easier to chew, providing them with essential nutrients. Cooking also helps them avoid illness by killing harmful bacteria in food. As they experiment with different cooking methods, they begin to appreciate the versatility of fire. They learn to roast vegetables, boil eggs, and even bake simple bread. These culinary discoveries expand their diet and provide new sources of nutrition. With the introduction of fire into their lives, humans transform from nomadic hunter-gatherers into settled communities. They start building permanent shelters near their fire pits, creating the first rudimentary homes. These shelters offer protection from the elements and provide a sense of security. As the community grows, so does their dependence on fire. They establish sacred fire pits at the center of their settlements, where they gather for warmth, cooking, and social interaction. The fire pit becomes the heart of the community, a place where people share stories, make decisions, and forge bonds. As time passes, humans refine their understanding of fire. They learn to build more efficient hearths and develop new tools for cooking and heating. They experiment with different types of fuel and discover the benefits of using materials that burn longer and hotter. They also learn to control the intensity of the fire, creating small fires for cooking and larger ones for warmth and protection. Meanwhile, the discovery of metals ushers in a new era. Humans learn to smelt ores and create tools and weapons that are stronger and more durable than ever before. Their ability to manipulate metals is a testament to their mastery of fire. With these advanced tools, humans conquer new frontiers. They ventured into uncharted territories, driven by the belief that fire will guide and protect them. They carry their sacred fire with them, ensuring that no darkness can consume them. The use of fire also leads to significant advancements in art and culture. Humans start decorating their bodies and possessions with intricate designs and patterns inspired by the flames. They create cave paintings depicting scenes from their daily lives and mythical stories, often using fire to illuminate their artwork. The dance of the flames becomes a source of inspiration for music and poetry, and fire rituals play a central role in religious ceremonies. However, as human societies grow and develop, the relationship between fire and humanity evolves. The advent of electricity and indoor heating systems gradually reduces the reliance on open fires for warmth and cooking. Yet fire continues to hold a powerful place in human culture, symbolizing warmth, light, and the power of nature. From the flickering flames of a campfire to the radiant glow of a fireplace, fire continues to captivate and inspire us. It serves as a reminder of our ancient ancestors who first tamed the wild flames. Now this discovery shaped the course of human history. And so, the story of fire and humanity intertwines throughout the ages, reflecting our enduring fascination with this powerful natural phenomenon. The air is thick with anticipation and the smell of damp earth. A low growl rumbles in his chest, not a sound of anger or aggression, but a primal hum of focus and determination. His muscles tense as he crouches lower to the ground, his gaze unwavering from the target in front of him. Beside him, his companions mirror his movements, their bodies taut with the effort of remaining still. In this moment, they are not just early hominids, not simply a mix between Homo sapiens and Neanderthals. They are hunters, trackers, survivors. Their bodies, though muscular and undeniably human-like, are coated in the grime of the wild. Dirt clings to their sweat-slicked skin, scars marring their limbs, testament to encounters with predators or the unforgiving terrain. Rough animal hides adorn their torsos, offering a meager defense against the elements and the creatures that prowl the night. But it's their faces that truly capture the essence of their primitive past. His face is a striking blend of human and ape, framed by thick, unruly hair that obscures much of his head and accentuates his heavy brows and high cheekbones. His nose is wide and prominent, his jaws slightly protruding, all features designed to withstand the brutal test of time and the challenges of their prehistoric existence. A close inspection reveals a hint of cunning intelligence in his deep-set eyes. Eyes that have witnessed the harsh realities of their world and have learned to adapt. There is a world of emotions etched on his face. The quiet dignity of a hunter. The fierce protectiveness of a father. The quiet dignity of a man who understands the fragility of life in a world where survival is a daily struggle. As the minutes crawl by, the tension mounts. The hunt has been long and arduous. Their quarry, a magnificent beast, powerful and elusive, has led them on a merry chase through the dense undergrowth. Now they are in its final den, the culmination of days of pursuit, but the climax is yet to come, and the danger is far from over. For in this primordial dance between predator and prey, there can be only one victor. A sudden movement in the undergrowth breaks the silence, and all eyes turn to the spot where the leaves rustled just moments before. Their senses, honed by years of living on the edge, pick up every subtle sound, every minute detail that could spell the difference between success and failure. With bated breath, they watch, wait, and prepare for whatever may come their way. The fate of their hunt, perhaps their very survival, hangs in the balance. His gaze is locked onto the undergrowth, his entire being focused on the task at hand. He doesn't need to speak. There is no need for words in this moment. His comrades understand his intent, sharing his thirst for the hunt. They're united by a common purpose, bound together by the necessities of their prehistoric existence. Behind him, another moves with a grace born of necessity. In her lithe form, a testament to generations of survival instincts. She is a skilled hunter in her own right, capable of taking down prey both large and small. Her bow is drawn taut, an arrow nocked and aimed, ready to be loosed. She is the epitome of feminine strength, her body a weapon as deadly as any spear or club. Her eyes, sharp and unwavering, scan the area for any sign of movement, any indication of their quarry's whereabouts. She is the silent shadow, the whisper in the wind, the embodiment of the hunt itself. Beside her, another stands ready, his broad shoulders and muscular arms a testament to a life of hard labor and constant vigilance. He is the anchor of the group, the rock upon which they rely in times of need. His spear is held firmly in his grasp, a deadly weapon that has likely taken down many an animal during their hunts. His eyes, though, are what truly command respect. They hold the wisdom of countless battles, the calm resolve of a man who has stared death in the face and emerged victorious. He is the protector, the shield that guards his companions from the dangers that lurk in the shadows. In this moment of anticipation, they are a study in contrasts, the lithe and the imposing, the young and the old, the male and the female, all united in their purpose. Their differences are their strengths, their similarities, their bonds. They are more than just a group of early hominids. They are a family, a community, a testament to the enduring spirit of humanity. The rhythmic chirping of insects is the soundtrack to their world, a constant presence that underscores the tranquility of the moment. Towering ferns and thick undergrowth surround them, creating a verdant tunnel that leads the eye into the heart of the primeval forest. The canopy overhead is a dense tapestry of leaves, filtering the sunlight into emerald shards that dance on the forest floor. It's a world untouched by human hands, a wilderness that has existed since time. Their primitive huts are nestled in a clearing amidst this untamed beauty, offering a temporary respite from the relentless demands of their environment. These shelters, though rudimentary, are sanctuaries of sorts, providing refuge from the elements and the nocturnal predators. Their construction is a testament to their ingenuity. Each hut, a unique design crafted from natural materials, a reflection of their resourcefulness and adaptability. Sunlight filters through the thick foliage, casting intricate patterns of light and shadow on the forest floor. Rays of sunshine pierce the dense canopy, illuminating airborne particles, creating mesmerizing beams of light that stretch across the clearing. These natural phenomena serve as both a reminder and a source of comfort. The reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always hope for a brighter tomorrow, and the comfort of knowing that they are not alone in this vast wilderness. Time seems to slow in this primordial setting, allowing the viewer to fully immerse themselves in the raw beauty of the prehistoric world. Every leaf, every ray of sunlight, every ripple in the nearby stream tells a story of a time long past, a story of resilience, adaptation, and the unyielding spirit of life itself. The air grows heavy with anticipation. He tenses, every muscle coiling like a spring ready to unleash its power. Time seems to stand still. The only sound, the pounding of his heart in his ears. Then, with a swiftness born of instinct and experience, he let his spear, a deadly extension of his will, flies through the air in a perfect arc. It finds its mark with a sickening thud, sending a spray of dirt and blood into the air. His quarry reels, caught off guard by the sudden assault. But it's only for a moment. The wounded animal, though strong and agile, is no match for these skilled hunters. Another spear finds its target, pinning the creature's thrashing legs to the ground. It's a swift and efficient dispatch, a testament to the hunter's skill and their desperate need for sustenance. With the threat of starvation momentarily abated, the hunters turn their attention to the task at hand, the grim duty of butchering their prey. The air, once thick with tension, now carries the metallic scent of blood. The prehistoric equivalent of a well-honed knife flashes in the dappled sunlight, glistening with a sinister edge. This is no mere tool for them. It's an extension of their will, a weapon against the relentless struggle for survival. As they expertly dismantle the carcass, the primal satisfaction of a job well done settles over them. But this moment of respite is short. In their world, every gain is quickly followed by new challenges. The hunt may be over, but the battle against the elements, against the constant threat of predators, and the ceaseless march of time is far from finished. Their survival, like that of their prey, is a daily struggle. The sun begins its slow descent, casting long shadows that stretch and distort across the prehistoric landscape. The forest, alive with the buzz of insects and the distant calls of unseen creatures, seems to close in around them. As darkness descends, the hunters gather closer, their silhouettes stark against the dying embers of the day. Around them, the remnants of their kill, the blood-soaked earth, the discarded entrails, tell a grim tale of their day's work. The circle of firelight becomes their sanctuary, a fragile bubble of warmth and safety in a world that offers little respite from the harsh embrace of nature. Their faces, illuminated by the flickering flames, are a study in contrasts. The young and the old, the strong and the weary, all united by the common thread of survival. Each face tells a story of hardship and resilience, of battles fought and won, of lives lived on the edge of existence. Their eyes, though, are the windows to their souls, reflecting the flickering firelight as they recount the tales of their day. The hunt, the kill, the future challenges that lie ahead. Their voices, though gruff and weathered by the elements, carry the music of their ancestors, the echoes of a time when language was first born in the heart of Africa. Wheat each word. The hunters weave the fabric of their history, strengthening the bonds that tie them together in this unforgiving world. And as the night deepens, the firelight dances in their eyes, keeping the darkness at bay and the memories alive. The remnants of the kill are carefully gathered, not a morsel of their hard-earned food going to waste. Even in the fading light, their movements are precise, efficient, born of necessity and respect for their prey. Every piece of meat is meticulously carved, every bone picked clean, ensuring that nothing is lost. Their tools, though crude by modern standards, are wielded with an expert's finesse. The hunters work in near silence, their movements a testament to their years of experience. The smell of roasting meat mingles with the scent of wood smoke, creating a primitive feast that is as nourishing to the body as it is to the soul. As they feast, their bodies grow strong, their spirits lifted by the shared experience of the hunt. The cycle of life and death, of struggle and sustenance, continues unbroken, a testament to their enduring spirit. I'm so excited to share this short film with you. It has been over a year in the making, and it took everything I have as an artist to make it happen. It is the story of the first discovery of fire by early humans, and it is told without dialogue, without a narrator, without any other gimmicks. It's just a story and some beautiful music. There are many versions of this story from different cultures, but the one that inspired me the most is from the Aboriginal Australians, specifically the Wanjiru people. Their creation story tells how the Wanjiru people emerged from the ground fully formed and then went on to discover fire and bring it back to the people. In their version, the fire is actually a gift from the Creator, and when the man brings it back up to the surface, his wife helps him tend it and keep it going. This is the woman who later becomes the mother of all mankind. Let's start out with the cinematic night scene. We open on a tight close-up of two stones being struck together. The camera slowly pulls away to reveal a small group of early humans, huddled close to each other, illuminated by the flickering orange glow of a fire. Faces are cast in shades of orange and yellow, highlighting the wonder and awe on their features. Their eyes, wide with amazement, reflect the dancing flames. One individual, a pregnant female, sits near the center, resting her hands on her swollen belly. Her face is bathed in the warm light of the fire, which also dances on her expectant eyes. As the camera slowly rises above the tribe, we see the flames reflected in the eyes of the rest of the group. They're mesmerized by the fire, completely captivated by the experience. In the background, the dark jungle looms, its edges only faintly illuminated by the firelight. Within the shadows, faint glowing predator eyes can be seen watching intently. The jungle seems to hold its breath, sharing in the sacredness of the moment. The camera continues to rise, slowly pulling away from the tribe and the fire. Now looking out at the vast starry night sky, wisps of smoke from the fire trail upwards, reaching towards the heavens like a silent prayer or offering. The smoke drifts between the stars, momentarily obscuring them before disappearing into the vast expanse above. The night is filled with a sense of magic and possibility as the smoke carries the essence of the fire into the starry heavens. This image of smoke ascending into the night sky carries profound symbolism. It represents the ascent of humanity, the elevation of our existence through the discovery of fire. Smoke, the byproduct of this newfound mastery over fire, ascends as an offering to the cosmos, symbolizing our ancestors' desire to express their gratitude, perhaps even communicate with the celestial beings they revered. The smoke becomes a tangible representation of their hopes, dreams, and fears, carried aloft to the heavens, where the stars silently witness this momentous occasion. Now let's move on to the second part of the film, the slow, dramatic sequence of the creation of the fire. The hands strike the stones together in the darkness. We can hear the impact, but no sparks are visible. After a beat, they strike the stones again, and this time a spark flashes. It fades quickly, leaving behind a trail of smoke. The hands strike the stones once more. Another spark, a little brighter than the last, and still another. These sparks ignite tiny pieces of debris, which flutter down to the ground below the rock ledge. Encouraged by the sight of these burning embers, the tribe leans closer. The pregnant woman moves slightly to the side, shielding her face instinctively. A new spark flies up and lands on the ground between the stones. It's too small to catch on camera, but we can see the small glowing ember from the perspective of the tribe. They watch, fascinated as it begins to grow. The ember grows larger, now illuminating the faces of the tribe. Their expressions are a mix of relief and wonder. The fire erupts into flames. The tribe gasps in awe and surprise. The camera circles around their awestruck faces, taking in the expressions of relief and wonder. Relief at the success, wonder at the power of what they have created. The fire crackles and pops. The camera holds on a close-up of the flames for a beat, savoring the moment. Then it pulls back to show the fire burning bright against the dark jungle. Just beyond the circle of light, the glowing predator eyes lurk, watching intently. The soundtrack plays a huge part in creating the mood and feel of this film. When composing this piece, I wanted to capture the essence of three primary themes: the majestic allure of the natural world, the primordial fear of predators, and the spiritual significance of the fire. The soundtrack opens with haunting melodies that mimic the cries of nocturnal predators, immediately establishing a sense of unease and danger. The melodic motif associated with the jungle serves as a reminder of the untamed wilderness that surrounds the tribe, highlighting their vulnerability and dependence on the protection offered by fire. Meanwhile, the rhythmic pulse of drums underscores the heartbeat of humanity, emphasizing the vulnerability and fragility of early humans in the face of the natural world's harsh realities. As the soundtrack progresses, the percussion becomes more prominent, mimicking the pounding of a tribal dance. This symbolizes the tribe's unity, strength, and resilience. In the face of adversity, the use of gongs and chimes adds a layer of ethereal beauty, suggesting the presence of spirits or deities observing the tribe's actions. The soundtrack reaches a crescendo as the tribe discovers fire, represented by shimmering, majestic strings and brass instruments. This moment of triumph is short-lived. However, as the predatory theme returns, now more intense, suggesting the lurking dangers that remain a constant threat. Despite the discovery of fire, the soundtrack ends on a note of cautious optimism. The central melodic theme returns, now played on solo piano, symbolizing the enduring spirit of humanity and its capacity for hope and renewal in the darkest of times. The final notes hang in the air, leaving the listener with a sense of anticipation for what the future may hold for this fledgling species. When it comes to sound design, the film is equally impressive. The crackle and roar of the fire are expertly mixed, creating an immersive experience that draws the audience into the scene. The subtle sounds of the jungle, such as the rustling of leaves and the distant calls of animals, serve as a reminder of the ever-present natural world. The soft gasps and whispers of the tribe members add a layer of realism and emotional depth to the film. The soundtrack seamlessly blends with the ambient sounds, creating a soundscape that is both immersive and emotionally resonant. The film is a testament to the power of storytelling and the evocative potential of music and sound design. The Night Fire is a powerful and moving film that explores the origins of humanity and the transformative power of discovery. Its stunning visuals, combined with its evocative soundtrack and sound design, create a cinematic experience that is both breathtaking and thought-provoking. Whether you're a fan of historical dramas or simply appreciate a good story, The Night Fire is definitely worth a watch. You've been watching this scene for a while now. It's the story of how our ancestors discovered fire for the first time, and it is being played out on a big screen at a museum exhibit about the history of humanity. It's slow and dramatic, but it's not real. It's a modern reenactment, but still, something about this scene touches us deeply. Maybe it is the haunting beauty of an ancient story being brought to life before our eyes, or the realization that our own existence is made possible by a few simple sparks that flew across a rocky beach tens of thousands of years ago. Whatever the reason, there is a sense of reverence in the air as visitors stand mesmerized by the glowing embers and wide-eyed faces of the actors. As you watch the scene unfold, you can't help but feel like you're right there with the tribe, sharing their wonder and fear as they realize the potential of what they've just created. You can almost hear their gasps and whispers echoing around you. Suddenly, a loud crack echoes across the beach, shattering the silence. The tribe jumps and turns toward the sound, fear etched on their faces. The fire is spreading and growing stronger. A sense of urgency grips the scene as the tribe gathers closer to protect the precious flames from being extinguished. Huddled together for warmth and safety, their breath mingling in the smoky air, they are connected in a way they never have been before. The sight of the dancing flames reflected in their wide eyes, a mix of awe and fear on their faces as they witness the power of what they have created. In that moment, the discovery of fire transforms more than just their physical world. It ignites a spark of community and belonging within them, drawing them together in a way that will shape their future as a species. As the scene comes to a close, the fire continues to burn brightly, casting long shadows and flickering lights that play across the faces of the tribe members. Their bodies are bathed in the warm glow, highlighting the intricate details of their expressions. As they marvel at the wonders of their discovery, the flickering flames also cast dancing shadows on the cave wall behind them, creating a mesmerizing backdrop that adds to the atmosphere of wonder and amazement. In the heart of the circle sits a pregnant female, her hands resting gently on her swollen belly. The firelight dances in her eyes, reflecting the inner glow of anticipation as she prepares to bring new life into the world. The discovery of fire has brought warmth and safety to the tribe, but it also symbolizes hope and the promise of a brighter future. As the scene fades, the fire continues to burn, casting its magical glow over the tribe and the cave they call home. So let's talk about this scene, shall we? What makes it so fascinating and what lessons can we learn from it? First off, let's take a minute to appreciate the sheer brilliance of fire itself. It's hard to overstate the importance of fire in our history. It wasn't just a practical tool for cooking and light. It was a symbol of power and community, and this scene captures that perfectly. The actors are surrounded by the light and warmth of the fire, which symbolizes the social and emotional benefits of this discovery. It brings people together, quite literally creates a sense of community. And this is especially powerful when we consider the pregnant woman in the middle of the circle. Fire is a source of life and nourishment, and it is fitting that this discovery is made at a time when new life is about to enter the tribe. Next, Let's talk about the setting. The scene is set in the heart of the jungle, which adds a sense of danger and mystery to the proceedings. The dark trees looming behind the fire create a sense of contrast and highlight the importance of the flames as a source of light and warmth. It also creates a sense of suspense, as if the fire could be extinguished at any moment and plunge the tribe back into darkness. This is heightened by the presence of glowing predator eyes in the shadows, which serve as a reminder of the dangers that lurk in the darkness. Another important aspect of this scene is the use of sound, the crackling flames. Low animal growls and soft human gasps all work together to create an immersive soundscape that draws the viewer into the scene. The sound design is so good that you can almost feel the heat of the fire and hear the whispers of the tribe members. But perhaps the most fascinating aspect of this scene is the sense of wonder and amazement that it evokes in the viewer. The discovery of fire was a pivotal moment in human history, and this scene captures the awe and excitement of that moment perfectly. It is hard not to be swept up in the energy of the scene and feel a sense of childlike wonder at the power of fire. And speaking of wonder, let's talk about the cinematography for a moment. The camera work is beautiful. The scene is shot in a way that makes you feel like you were right there with the tribe, experiencing the discovery of fire for yourself. The close-ups on the faces of the characters, the sweeping shots of the fire in the jungle, it all creates a sense of intimacy and immersion that is hard to resist. Overall, this scene is a masterclass in storytelling. It is a beautifully shot and edited scene that captures the wonder and excitement of one of humanity's most important discoveries. It's a must-watch for anyone interested in human history or just a good story. If you want to see this for yourself, I highly recommend checking it out. It's a truly remarkable experience that will stay with you long after the credits roll. A young man stands on a hill overlooking the valley below. He pulls his furry animal skin cloak tighter around himself against the biting wind and scans the horizon. A long, lazy plume of smoke curls skyward in the distance. He squints, trying to make out shapes against the hazy outline of the mountain peaks. Something about that shape doesn't look right. It seems too large to be a bison, too low to the ground to be a woolly rhinoceros, and with each passing moment, the shape becomes clearer. Mammoth. He whistles a shrill note that slices through the wind. Down in the valley, a small group of humans are preparing for battle. Two men hearken to his call and break off from sharpening their bone tools while a third secures a spear to a spear thrower. The three men exchange glances, each understanding what must be done. They strap on their own heavy furs, grab their weapons, and run toward the hilltop. In the distance, a woolly mammoth trumpets, a deep, rumbling sound that carries across the frozen plain. It rears up on its hind legs, swaying like a drunken giant as it surveys the landscape. Its long, curved tusks glint in the weak sunlight, filtering through the swirling snow. As if sensing danger, the mammoth lets out another ear-splitting trumpet and charges straight for our heroes. Now the men have only seconds to react. One hurls a spear from his makeshift bow and arrow, but the sharp point bounces harmlessly off the mammoth's thick hide. Another steps forward, waving his arms above his head in a war dance, and lets loose a volley of arrows, each one finding its mark, sinking deep into the woolly hide. But the mammoth is unfazed, more enraged. The third man steps forward, brandishing a long, sturdy spear tipped with a sharp stone head. He jabs and slashes at the beast's flanks, but his spear is too short to reach the mammoth's thick hide. Frustrated, he ducks under the mammoth's swinging tusk and stabs at the ground, sending clods of dirt and pebbles flying. But the mammoth doesn't flinch. Our hero knows he needs a miracle, so he does the only thing he can think of. He throws himself at the mammoth, tackling it to the ground. The mammoth bellows in surprise and struggles to regain its footing, but our hero hangs on for dear life, desperately searching for a weak spot in the creature's armor. As the mammoth writhes on the ground, the other two humans close in for the kill. One plants his spear firmly in the ground and uses it as leverage to shimmy up the mammoth-esque tusk. From this vantage point, he has a clear shot at the mammoth's brain. With a deep breath, he drives his spear deep into the beast's skull. The mammoth convulses violently, then goes still. The three humans stand back to admire their work. They may have won this battle, but they know there will be more woolly mammoths to come. The hunt is never truly over. This is a story about the struggle for survival during the Ice Age, when humanity was nothing but a small band of nomadic hunters trying to survive in a world dominated by giant beasts. We follow a group of early humans as they travel across the frozen wastelands in search of food and shelter. Along the way, they must battle woolly mammoths, woolly rhinoceroses, saber-toothed tigers, and other terrifying creatures. But they also face challenges from within their own group as rival clans compete for limited resources. As the story progresses, we see the humans develop new technologies and hunting strategies to help them survive. They learn to work together in larger groups, to take down bigger prey, and develop more sophisticated tools for hunting and defense. But despite their progress, they still face constant danger from both the natural world and from other humans. The film culminates in an epic battle between the humans and a rival clan that threatens to wipe them out. The humans must use all their skills and cunning to outwit their enemies and claim victory. But in doing so, they also change forever the way they live and interact with the world around them. At the end of the film, we see the humans settling down in one place for the first time, building permanent structures and cultivating the land. They have finally tamed the world around them and secured their place in it. This film is a thrilling adventure that takes us back to a time when humanity was nothing more than a small band of survivors. Along the way, we learn about the incredible animals that roamed the earth during the Ice Age and the amazing feats that early humans were capable of. It's a story that will stay with us long after the credits roll. As the sun dips below the horizon, casting long shadows across the frozen plain, a group of early humans emerges from the trees. They are weary travelers, their bodies stiff from days on the road and their minds focused on the task at hand, finding a place to rest before the night's icy grip tightens its hold. Their leader, a grizzled man with eyes that have seen too much hardship, raises his staff, halting the group. Ahead of them lies a clearing, and in the center of it, a sight that brings a mix of relief and trepidation. There in the center of the clearing stands a woolly mammoth, its massive form silhouetted against the fading light. The mammoth trumpets, a deep resonant sound that echoes the weariness in the hearts of the humans. Its tusks gleam like polished ivory in the twilight, a testament to the countless battles it has fought and survived. The humans are outnumbered and outgunned, yet they press on, their desperation for shelter driving them forward. The mammoth is old, its body bearing the scars of a life well lived, but it is fiercely protective of its territory. It charges, its heavy feet pounding the frozen ground, each step shaking the very foundations of the humans' resolve. They scatter, racing for cover behind boulders and fallen logs, their breaths forming white clouds in the freezing air. The mammoth is relentless, its anger echoing the fury of the blizzard that rages overhead. It tramples the ground where the humans had stood moments before, its tusks leaving deep gashes in the ice. The humans regroup, their fear giving way to determination. They hurl spears at the mammoth, each throw a prayer that the beast will falter, that it will give them a moment's respite. But the mammoth is too strong, too resilient. The spears bounce off its thick hide, leaving nothing but small red dots against its gray bulk. They try a different tactic, surrounding the mammoth, cutting off its escape. They shout and scream, trying to intimidate the creature, hoping to drive it back. But the mammoth stands firm, its eyes blazing with defiance, its tusks held high like swords of polished bone. One of the humans, young and eager, steps forward. He has nothing to lose, so he dances around the mammoth, taunting it, trying to distract it. The mammoth lashes out, its tusks flashing, its anger growing. The young man dodges, his heart pounding in his chest, his breath misting in the frigid air. He is playing a dangerous game, but he has the agility of youth on his side. Another human, older and wiser, sees an opportunity. He steps forward, hidden from the mammoth's view, and drives a spear deep into the beast's flank. The mammoth roars, the sound echoing the anguish of its kind as it collapses to its knees. The humans press their attack, their spears finding their marks, their determination driving them forward. Yet even as the mammoth bleeds, it fights back its tusks, reaping a deadly harvest. One of the humans staggers, clutching at his side, blood blossoming on his tunic. The young man sees the pain etched on the dying mammoth's face and understands the cost of their victory. It is a heavy price to pay for a moment's reprieve from the blizzard. The mammoth collapses, its massive form crashing to the ground like a falling star. The humans stand back, their faces grim, their bodies weary. They have won the battle, but the war against the elements is far from over. They gather around the fallen mammoth, their knives flashing in the firelight, their hunger a stark contrast to the despair that lingers in the air. This is a world of extremes, where the sun never sets in the summer and the darkness of winter lasts for weeks, where the cold is a constant companion and the nights are filled with the howls of wolves. The humans are part of this world, shaped by it, defined by it. They are hunters, gatherers, storytellers, dreamers. They are the ancestors of those who came after, the seeds from which great civilizations would grow. As the blizzard rages outside the clearing, the humans huddle around their fire, sharing stories of their ancestors, of their triumphs and their losses. The mammoth, once a symbol of their struggle, now becomes a source of sustenance, its meat warming their bodies, its hide protecting them from the cold. The cycle continues, the struggle for survival, the search for community, the hope for a better tomorrow. The humans are bound together by their shared humanity, by their need for warmth, for food, for a place to call home. They are a small flicker of life in a world of ice and snow, but they are all that stands between humanity and extinction. This is the story of the Ice Age, a world of giants and ice, where the cold is a constant companion and the nights are filled with danger. Our story today goes back thousands of years before the pyramids were built, before writing was invented, back to a time when human beings were still figuring out how to survive on this planet. Our ancestors hunted animals for food, made clothes from their skins, and used their bones and teeth to make tools. Sometimes the animals they hunted fought back, and sometimes they came out on top, and that would have been a very big deal. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to imagine what one of those victories might have looked like. We don't have much evidence of these early humans and the animals they hunted, but we do have some clues, enough to paint a picture of a hunt gone right. This is a cinematic depiction of a tribe of early humans standing over a fallen woolly mammoth. Blood stains the snow red. Steam rises from the dead beast's massive body. A group of humans raise their spears high in the air in a gesture of triumph. Their faces are painted with relief and pride. Behind them, others work quickly to cut meat, strip hides, and gather bones. Further back, children and elders pour out of a nearby primitive camp made of animal hides and wooden frames. Some cheer, some watch intently, while others rush forward to greet the returning hunters. The kill must be shared with the rest of the community, so the men hurry to butcher the mammoth and start preparing it for transport. A wide shot of the fallen mammoth surrounded by cheering humans. Two men raise their spears high, shouting in victory as they walk around the dead mammoth. One of the men is older, his face lined with the hardships of a life spent hunting. The other is younger, probably in his 20s, his chest and stomach bare, revealing the muscles he's developed from years of hunting. Both wear loincloths and necklaces made of animal teeth and claws. Their spears are long and sturdy, their blades sharp and well-maintained. Around them, several other men and women of different ages and sizes mill about, some clapping, others dancing, all celebrating the day's success. One young woman cradles a spear in her hands, her eyes shining with admiration for the hunters. She's adorned with colorful beads and feathers, a sign of her status as a member of the tribe's spiritual and healing branch. She turns to join the others in celebrating. The camera cuts to a series of close-ups, hands slicing through thick meat, stripping hides off the carcass, gathering bones to use as tools and shelters. An older man with long white hair and a thick white beard directs the cutting of the meat with a wooden knife, handing pieces to a kneeling woman who places them carefully into a woven basket. Nearby, two young boys watch intently, their eyes wide with excitement and hunger. They hold up chunks of meat for inspection and gnaw on scraps left behind by the adults. A group of women and children run toward the hunters, their steps quick and light as they approach the mammoth. Some carry knives, others baskets or containers of some sort. One young girl skips ahead of the group, her red hair bouncing up and down as she claps and sings. A young mother holding a baby close to her chest rushes forward to embrace one of the hunters, her face etched with worry and relief. Her husband returns her embrace, his body still shaking from the exertion of the hunt. He looks back at the mammoth briefly before turning to help his wife and daughter. As the sun begins to set, the humans settle down around small campfires inside primitive hide tents. Smoke rises slowly from the fires as families share stories and jokes. Children play at the edges of the camp, their laughter echoing in the stillness of the evening. Couples sit close together, their bodies warming each other in the cold night air. Throughout the scene, the sound design is crucial. Joyful shouts mix with the crackle of fire and the hiss of mammoth steam in the cold air. Close-ups of the hunters' faces reveal their exhaustion and elation. Their chests rise and fall rapidly as they speak excitedly among themselves, recounting the hunt and planning for the future. In the distance, a wolf howls, reminding the audience that danger still lurks outside the safety of the camp. But for now, the humans celebrate their victory over the mammoth and look forward to a night of feasting and rest. As the humans settle down around small campfires inside primitive hide tents, the scene fades to black. The only sound is the crackling of the fire and the distant howl of a wolf. This is a moment of survival and unity, a time for the community to come together and celebrate their hard-won victory. It is a reminder of the strength and resilience of the human spirit and the importance of community in the face of adversity. With the mammoth hunt complete, the humans can now turn their attention to the task of preparing the meat for storage and distribution. This will require teamwork and cooperation, as well as knowledge of how to properly butcher and preserve the meat. Some of the men will stay behind to guard the camp and watch over the fire, while others will venture out into the surrounding area to gather supplies such as firewood and water. Women and children will also play an important role in the process of preparing the meat, helping to clean and process the carcass, as well as collect and store the valuable parts for later use. As the work continues, the mood in the camp will likely be a mixture of satisfaction and anticipation. The humans will be tired from the day's work, but also excited at the prospect of a feast. The mammoth is a large animal, and there will be plenty of meat to go around. In addition to providing food for the tribe, the hunt will also provide other useful materials such as hides for clothing and shelter, as well as bones for tools and weapons. The humans will take great care to use every part of the animal, wasting nothing. The successful hunt will be a source of pride for the tribe, and there will be celebrations and rituals to mark the occasion. Music and dancing will likely play a part in the festivities, as well as storytelling and other forms of entertainment. The hunters will be praised and celebrated for their skill and bravery, and the entire community will rejoice in their success. The atmosphere in the camp will be lively and festive as the humans come together to enjoy the fruits of their labor. There will be a sense of camaraderie and fellowship as the tribe members share stories and jokes around the campfire. The warmth of the fire will provide a welcome contrast to the cold weather, and the flickering flames will cast dancing shadows on the faces of the celebrants. Overall, the scene will be a celebration of life, community, and the successful completion of a dangerous and challenging hunt. It will be a testament to the strength, courage, and resilience of the human spirit, as well as the importance of cooperation and teamwork in overcoming adversity. And if you liked this video, you might like our video about how prehistoric humans actually sounded. A cinematic close-up of a massive woolly mammoth herd moving slowly across the frozen tundra. Their long curved tusks glistened with frost. Steam rises from their bodies in the cold air. In the foreground, early humans crouch behind snow-covered rocks. They're partially hidden. We only see their fierce faces, hands gripping heavy spears and throwing sticks. The sky is dark and stormy. It feels like anything could happen. The herd moves into the storm. The humans stay put. The first part of the movie is a slow, tense tracking shot of a woolly mammoth herd marching across the snow. Steam rises from their massive bodies. The camera follows the herd for a bit before cutting to our hunters who are hidden behind rocks and ice formations. The humans are partially buried in the snow. We only see their faces, eyes fixed on the mammoths. The icy wind whips at their exposed skin, but their determination remains unwavering. Quick cuts of stone-tipped spears being held tightly, hands trembling slightly from both the cold and anticipation. Low growls and whispers pass between the hunters as they discuss their next move. A young hunter fidgets with his spear, impatience evident in his movements. Another, older man lays a hand on the youngster's shoulder, his face a mask of grim resolve. The group's shaman, adorned with furs and bone ornaments, steps forward, his eyes closed in concentration. He raises his hands in a slow, deliberate motion, chanting words that are lost to the wind. The camera returns to the mammoths. They continue their steady march across the ice-jammed riverbed, unaware of the danger lurking in the shadows. A close-up of a mammoth's tusk, intricately patterned with frost, reveals the immense size of these prehistoric giants. The camera pans up to show more of the mammoths, silhouetted against the gray sky as they move closer to the river's edge. Back with the humans, a fire crackles nearby, casting flickering shadows on the surrounding ice formations. The hunters huddle around it, sharing stories and jokes to boost their spirits. But the mood shifts when the shaman, eyes closed, suddenly raises his head, listening intently. He opens his eyes, now glowing with newfound intensity. He stands up, grabs a spear, and wastes no time in joining the rest of the hunters in their pursuit. The hunters, armed with spears and knives, creep through the knee-deep snow, their movements silent but urgent. The camera captures their determined expressions as they silently close in on their prey. The mammoth doesn't seem to notice them yet. As the sun begins its descent, casting long shadows across the tundra, the mammoth finally catches sight of the humans and reacts with alarm. It trumpets loudly, its massive tusks flashing as it takes a step back, inadvertently crushing some of the smaller plants beneath its weight. Its herd mates, sensing the danger, begin to steer their own alarm calls, echoing across the barren landscape. One of the younger mammoths, separated from the herd in the commotion, stumbles and falls. The human hunters freeze, assessing the situation. For a moment, there's a mix of excitement and apprehension in their eyes. The fallen mammoth, disoriented and scared, struggles to get back on its feet. It shakes its head, sending snowflakes flying, and looks around frantically. It trumpets again, this time in fear. The other mammoths, realizing the predicament of their young, attempt to come to its aid, forming a protective circle around the fallen calf. Their tusks lowered, they glare menacingly at the humans, ready to defend their own. The humans exchange glances, their earlier uncertainty replaced by a steely resolve. They have hunted mammoths before, and they know not to underestimate these massive beasts. The shamans raise their hands, palms out, in a gesture of command, or perhaps prayer. The hunters respond in unison, throwing their spears with practiced precision. One spear finds its mark, sinking into the nearest mammoth's flank. The mammoth roars in pain and anger, its massive tusks crashing together as it thrashes about. Bloodstains, the pristine snow red, a stark contrast against the white backdrop. More spears fly, finding their targets. The hunters are relentless, their years of training and experience guiding their every move. Yet the mammoths fight back, their sheer size and strength making them formidable opponents. One of the mammoths, wounded but still defiant, charges forward. It crashes through the human ranks, sending some sprawling in the snow. Others scramble to their feet, readying themselves to face the oncoming beast. The mammoth, its tusks dripping with blood, bellows in rage. The humans stand firm, forming a tight group to present a united front. The mammoth, unable to reach them, is forced to retreat back to its herdmates. It collapses, its massive form slumping to the ground with a thud that shakes the earth. Its herdmates trumpet mournfully, acknowledging the fallen. The surviving humans, bruised and exhausted, gather around the fallen mammoths. Their faces are a mixture of triumph and exhaustion. They have won, but at what cost? The scene shifts from the hunt to the aftermath. The humans, their faces now illuminated by a warm fire, prepared to butcher the mammoth. Women and children, previously hidden, now emerge from the safety of the ice formations. They join the men in the task of dismembering the beast, their movements efficient and practiced. The camera focuses on the hands and tools. The sinewy hands of the hunters contrasted with the primitive tools used for the butchering. Close-ups of knives and saws reveal the raw, primal nature of their work. As the mammoth is butchered, the camera lingers on its tusks, now separated from the rest of the skeleton. The tusks are magnificent, their size and shape emphasizing the sheer scale of the mammoth. These tusks would likely be used for display or ritualistic purposes, serving as a reminder of the day's victory. Children, their faces smeared with mammoth meat, laugh and play amidst the remnants of the hunt. Their innocence starkly contrasted with the violence of the previous moments. The camera captures the joy and relief on the women's faces as they gather around the fire, sharing the spoils of the hunt. In the distance, the silhouettes of lone hunters can be seen returning to the camp, each carrying a spear or knife. They, too, are covered in the blood and grime of the hunt. The scene fades, leaving us with a sense of the cyclical nature of life, death, and survival in the prehistoric world. The film's score, composed of guttural vocals, percussion instruments, and wind instruments, underscores the emotional weight of each scene. The soundtrack perfectly complements the visuals, transporting the audience to a time when humans first learned to hunt big game, thus beginning the story of humankind. Throughout the movie, the cinematography masterfully uses natural lighting to enhance the visual experience. The soft, diffused light of the snowy landscapes creates a sense of serenity that is occasionally shattered by the raw energy of the hunt. The camera angles are designed to evoke a sense of awe and scale, emphasizing the imposing presence of the mammoth and the vulnerability of the humans. The film isn't just about the hunt, though. It's also about the human element, our primal need to survive, and our complex relationship with the natural world. We witness the camaraderie among the hunters, the quiet strength of the women and children, and the spiritual connection the shaman has with the natural world. The film leaves us with a profound respect for the resilience and adaptability of the human spirit in the face of one of the greatest challenges surviving in a world dominated by giant creatures we had never seen before and might never see again. The camera soars high above the frost-covered grasslands, revealing an endless white panorama stretching to the horizon. A sea of snow dunes ripples under an icy sky where the sun struggles to pierce the gloom. Rolling fog obscures the landscape's harsh edges, giving it a dreamlike quality. In the distance, jagged peaks protrude from the clouds like the teeth of some colossal beast. Closer to the camera, two massive glaciers gleam like shards of fallen glass, their icy surfaces catching the faintest glimmer of reflected sunlight. The wind whips across the barren plains, swirling and eddying around the rocky outcrops that dot the landscape. As the camera continues its slow descent, we begin to see the first signs of life. A herd of woolly mammoths slumber across the tundra, their thick fur coats providing some insulation against the biting cold. Their massive tusks flash briefly in the pale light as they lift their heads to trumpet loudly into the gray sky. Following the herd, a lone human figure emerges from the mist. Draped in animal skins, he carries a spear tipped with a sharp stone point. He walks with the determination of a man on a mission, his eyes scanning the horizon for danger or sustenance. On the ground before him, a single footprint is imprinted in the soft snow, a testament to his solitary journey across this frozen wasteland. As the camera draws closer, we see that the man is not alone. A few more figures appear, also wrapped in furs, each bearing the same stoic expression etched on their faces. They are all members of the same tribe, venturing out into the frozen wilderness in search of food and shelter from the unforgiving elements. Together, they form a small band of early humans trying to survive in one of the most inhospitable environments on Earth. The camera lingers on the man's face, capturing the intensity of his gaze as he stares out over the endless snow-covered plains. His eyes reflect the harsh realities of life in the Ice Age, a world where survival is a daily struggle against the elements, and extinction looms ever closer with each passing season. Despite the dangers that lie ahead, he presses on, driven by the primal need to survive and the hope that better times may lie just beyond the horizon. Our story begins in the heart of an ice-jammed river valley, nestled amidst towering glaciers and frost-kissed mountains. A band of early humans, a mix of Homo sapiens and Homo habilis, have made camp for the night. Huddled around a meager fire, they share stories and jokes in a language that echoes the crackle of the flames. Their breath hangs in the frigid air like ghostly apparitions, momentarily illuminating the rugged features etched by years of hardship and survival. Outside the circle of firelight, the world is a tapestry of shadow and ice, where the only sounds are the mournful howl of the wind and the crunch of snow underfoot. But as the first rays of dawn penetrate the gloom, a sense of foreboding settles over the group. For they know that when the sun rises over the Ice Age tundra, it brings with it both peril and promise. With the coming of daylight, the band must rise and face the challenges of another day in this unforgiving world. And as they prepare to set out across the frozen wastes, they do so with a mixture of courage, determination, and quiet desperation. Among them is Torin, a grizzled elder whose weathered face is a map of his years spent battling the elements. His eyes, though dimmed with age, still hold a spark of the cunning and resilience that has kept him alive for so long. Beside him sits Lyra, a young woman whose youthful energy belies the weight of responsibility she carries. She is the tribe's hunter, and her success in providing food for the group rests on her skill and bravery. Their band is small, numbering no more than 20 souls, each one a vital part of this close-knit community. As they prepare for the day ahead, the others stir from their slumber, each with their own hopes and fears for what the new day will bring. There is Roark, the tribe's seaman, whose knowledge of herbs and rituals is as respected as his skill in hunting. And there is Grog, a strong young man eager to prove himself and win the respect of his peers. Their camp is a testament to their resourcefulness, with shelters fashioned from animal hides and bones serving as protection from the biting wind and falling snow. Tools made from sharpened stones and wooden clubs lie scattered nearby, ready for use in the hunt or defense against predators. But now it is time to break camp and venture out into the frozen wilderness once more. With the last of their meager supplies consumed, they must push on in search of food and shelter from the relentless cold. As they gather their belongings and prepare to leave, a palpable tension fills the air. They are all acutely aware of the challenges that lie ahead. The terrain is treacherous, the weather unpredictable, and the threat of starvation and exposure ever present. But they have no choice but to press on, driven by the primal instinct for survival and the hope of finding better conditions beyond the horizon. And so the band of early humans sets out across the icy plains, their silhouettes stark against the pale sky. With each step they take, they leave behind the safety of their camp and venture further into the heart of the frozen wilderness. Before them, the tundra stretches endlessly in all directions, a white expanse broken only by the occasional rocky outcrop or stand of stunted trees. The wind whistles across the plains, carrying with it the scent of snow and ice. The temperature plummets, and the breath of each member of the band forms a visible cloud in the frigid air. Torin leads the way, his keen eyes scanning the horizon for any sign of danger or sustenance. Behind him, Lyra follows closely, her hand resting on the spear sheathed at her side. The other members of the tribe follow in a loose formation, their movements fluid and silent as they navigate the treacherous terrain. The snow is deep and the going is slow, but they press on, driven by the urgency of their quest for food and shelter. As the hours pass, the sun begins its slow descent toward the horizon. The light fades and the temperature drops even further. The wind picks up, swirling the snow into blinding eddies that obscure the landscape. The band huddles together for warmth, sharing their meager blankets and furs. They move at a slower pace, conserving their energy for the long journey ahead. The sky darkens, and the first snowflakes of the night begin to fall. Soon, the wind is whipping through the trees, creating a deafening roar that drowns out all other sound. Torin raises his hand, signaling for the group to halt and seek shelter for the night. They scramble to erect their tents and settle in for the long, cold night ahead. The storm rages on, shaking the very foundations of their makeshift camp. Inside their tents, the members of the band huddle together, seeking comfort and warmth in their shared humanity. Lyra pulls her furs tightly around her shoulders, her eyes fixed on the flickering flames of the fire that burns at the center of their camp. The wind screams outside, but within the circle of light, there is a sense of safety and camaraderie. As the storm rages on, they tell stories and sing songs, keeping their spirits high despite the bleak conditions that surround them. When the first light of dawn finally penetrates the gloom, the storm has passed and an eerie silence hangs in the air. The tents are torn and the camp is littered with debris, a testament to the fury of the night. But the members of the band are unharmed and they set about the task of repairing their camp and preparing for the day ahead. As they emerge from their tents, blinking in the dim light, they are greeted by a sight that fills them with both wonder and trepidation. The tundra around them has been transformed into a winter wonderland, with the trees laden with snow and the ground covered in a thick layer of sparkling white. But beneath the beauty of the snow-covered landscape, there is a harsh reality. The freezing temperatures and the constant threat of starvation and exposure remain ever present, and as the band sets out once more into the frozen wilderness, they do so knowing that the challenges ahead will be as daunting as ever. Yet despite the hardships they face, there is a sense of hope that lingers in the air. For as long as they have each other, as long as they can rely on their wits and their courage, they will survive. So go check it out and let us know what you think in the comments below. We would love to hear your thoughts on this amazing scene. And while you're at it, don't forget to subscribe for more videos like this one. We've got lots of exciting content coming up that we think you'll love. Thanks for watching. See you next time.